Forget what you think you know about the Rayman franchise, because we're diving deep into my most polarizing, unpopular Rayman opinions. Opinions that are, objectively speaking here, 100% correct with zero arguments against them, because I make the rules. So clean your desk and prepare your toilet, because here are my hottest Rayman takes. Coming in strong with a violation against most modern Rayman fans, and something that viewers of this channel will probably already know by now, I just don't care for Rayman Legends. I think it's good and I enjoy it. I just also think it's a backward step from Origins and doesn't really deserve the status it currently holds. The game has a lot going for it in terms of gameplay mechanics, level types, characters, bonuses, blah blah blah. There is a lot, but when you strip away those bells and whistles, what you're left with is a set of level packs comprised of really poorly designed levels. Maybe that's a hot take. I mean, I hope it is, since that's what this video is about, and you know, a bit of a waste of my time if it's not a hot take. But honestly, I just find 3/4 of Rayman Legends levels to be tedious and generally really dull. Nice secrets dotted around the place, sure, but half the levels are cursed with Murphy bringing the pacing to a halt, and the other standard levels are just straightforward left to right rooms with a couple of tiny offshoots. The creativity of the levels just isn't there, and while I've mentioned this on the channel before, following Origins, it's hard to play through a level in Legends and feel the same level of wonder and excitement. Rayman Origins was designed so much better in my opinion. Of course I like the game, the music levels are incredibly fun, the invaded rooms are a wonderful addition, the inclusion of the Origins levels was a brilliant move, and I like the challenge rooms too, although I wish they hadn't turned off the servers on most versions. But really, being considered the definitive modern Rayman game, I'm not impressed. I disagree. Hate me all you want, but then go and play Rayman Origins, and then try and play Legends, and then come to me with a bunch of flowers, a dildo, and a half-written apology. Moving on. My second hot take of the day is that Rayman Revolution is not a good way to play Rayman 2. Now, I thought this was generally considered an agreed upon fact until last year when I made this video saying I didn't really care for Rayman Revolution, and the comments told me that I was wrong and that actually people like that one. And I've spoken to people directly that say they like it, and I do understand their perspectives. I just disagree. For those who don't know, Rayman Revolution is a PS2 port of Rayman 2, almost like a director's cut edition, if it wasn't for the fact that even the director doesn't like this game and said the Dreamcast port is the real one. Anyway, the levels are all jumbled up and placed in a hub world. There are a few mini games, there are upgrades and power-ups to buy, like it's an open world game, you know, like a modern Ubisoft game. And for some reason there are these extended open area segments with bizarre combat challenges and baby glowbox throwing activities or something. Are these new additions good? No. Is the new voice acting good? No. Are the new boss fights anything more than awful? No. Was this a good idea but executed badly? No, it wasn't even a good idea. I mean, it also wasn't executed very well, but, you know, it was never a good idea in the first place. To give Rayman Revolution its credit, I do like the way the levels are all jumbled up, and some of the new areas and details in the main levels, it's cool, I like it. But I do also think that's kind of just the novelty aspect taking over, since I'm so used to the main version of the game, that, you know, really I'm just getting excited at seeing something I recognise that's a little bit different and a little bit new, you know? Rayman 2 is paced perfectly in my opinion, the main Rayman 2. And the world being set up in the way that it is from every other version is so cool. The Hall of Doors, or the Isle of Doors, depending on what you're playing, makes a lot of sense and fits in the narrative and the vibe of Rayman 2 much better. Getting power-ups from Glowbox, from Lee, it makes sense. The chair minigame level serving as a way to break up some of the heavier platforming levels makes sense. Delegating power-ups to Lee's shop in the open world, the chair minigame becoming an optional thing in the open world, doesn't make sense. It's hokey and it feels like they stripped the charm and direction of Rayman 2 away for the sake of modernising it and saying it holds up against other platformers on the PS2. But ironically, that's really what brought Rayman Revolution down for me and makes it not hold up against games like Jak and Daxter, because Jak and Daxter was designed to be the way it is. Rayman 2 was not designed to be the way Rayman Revolution is. It's all my opinion, it's just my opinion. Well, I mean, it's fact. But technically I have to say it's my opinion or I get done for slander or something, I don't know. Just play Rayman 2 on the Dreamcast like I'm going to do live last week, but I'm recording this before I do it, so there you go. I'm not sure if this is a hot take or not, and I kinda touched on it earlier, but I fucking hate Murphy in Rayman Legends. If he was quite literally wiped from the game in its entirety, it would go from like a 6.5 or 7 to an 8 instant, like an entire point instantly. Murphy is just, you know? Although Murphy in Rayman 3 is fantastic, even though he lied to us. Another unpopular opinion I only discovered was unpopular very recently is that Rayman 3's combat focus and overall goofier, actiony, early 2000s punk style and tone is you know, what the franchise should continue with, and was brilliant and was a good move. Yeah, apparently that's an unpopular opinion. It seems people don't like the heavy combat focus Rayman 3 went with, despite the fact that platforming and exploration never suffered for it. It's the biggest distinction between Rayman 2 and Rayman 3 for me. They both have equally good platforming segments, although maybe even 3 has the edge on that as well. Except instead of robo-pirate encounters being a bit tedious, the hoodlum encounters are well thought out and loads of fun, even on like the 300th playthrough. I love the action vibe Rayman 3 goes for, and I get that it is quite different, and I see why a lot of people may have rejected it at the time, but really those people were wrong. Rayman 3 is a damn good game, and the combat alone keeps the game wildly entertaining from start to finish. If Rayman 4 did happen back in the day, I like to think it would have still had a big focus on fighting wacky enemies and really just been like a direct Rayman 3 sequel, but it never happened, and we got Rabbids instead, which kind of follows on that tone, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. This one's probably not that much of a hot take, because I know loads of people do love Rayman 3, but I know people that don't really didn't like the combat and the tone and the vibe and everything. Here's a fun one that might not seem like a hot take, but it really is. Rayman Raving Rabbids isn't good. Now, you might be typing a comment in the comments section after already liking and subscribing, saying something along the lines of, "Ooh, but Rayman fans hate the Rabbids. I thought we all agreed on that." But no, that's not agreed upon at all. As far as I can tell, the general consensus is that while Rayman Raving Rabbids was not what we were all expecting, the first game was still quite good and is often cited as the best Rabbids game, bar the Mario and Rabbids entries and Rabbids Go Home. But I'm here to tell you, you are all wrong. I just replayed them all, yes all, because of all of the mini-games Rabbids games, the first one is the second to worst. The worst is the newest Party of Legends one, and I don't know how they thought that was going to be a return to form, but that's for another day. Raving Rabbids 2, TV Party, Travel in Time, Alive and Kicking, and Rabbids Land all get shit on for being crappy minigame compilations that killed Rayman. Dude, what? That first Rabbids game is bad. I mean, like, actually, truly a bad video game. But Raving Rabbids 2, TV Party, and Travel in Time specifically are 3 of the best Wii games ever released, and I'm not pulling your leg on this. I love those games, and I'm gonna crash the fuck out if I hear another person say the only good Rabbids game was the first, because it absolutely the fuck is not. The collection of minigames is diabolical. The controls on any of the ports I can find are all terrible. The pacing is garbage, and the main campaign is so profoundly repetitive it makes me want to skin Rayman alive, put bamboo under his nails, and make him write bad checks. Alright, I kind of already crashed out, but still, man, I don't even hate the game. I just cannot fathom why that's the only one people like, and all the others are sitting there just being more or less the perfect party games on the Wii, losing out to fucking Mario Party, which doesn't deserve that title, and these Rabbids games get no credit. Ridiculous. Rant over. The next one is a bit more of a take that I think people might agree with, but generally would be raising eyebrows upon first hearing, if that makes sense. Either way, people are going to like this more than the next one, so let's get this one out there first. I think Rayman Origins and Legends mutilated and destroyed Rayman's character. Now, I think we'll all admit that Origins and Legends don't really have stories or cutscenes or anything like that, but that's no reason for Rayman to act like he doesn't have a brain. Even Glowbox acts more brainless and goofy and zombie-ish than he should. Plus, they all behave exactly the same. Every single character in both of these games act exactly the same. It's bizarre. Any sense of individuality or uniqueness or character that these already quirky people, rabbits, creatures, frogs had is all stripped away in favour of the goofy cartoon-style brainless comic relief loser of the early 2010s. I hate it, and it sadly extended over to Sparks of Hope. You know, I love that Rayman showed up in a modern Mario and Rabbids game, but the random over-the-top facial expressions felt right out of Legends, and I didn't like it. It was a step in the right direction, but to me it was not the character I grew up with at all. But that all leads us on to the final unpopular opinion of the day. I'm going to drop this grenade and run, so first I'll say thank you for watching, don't forget to like, dislike, subscribe, or leave angry comments below, and as always, stay awesome, stay limitless, and I will see you in the next one. I don't like Rayman's design in Sparks of Hope. Goodbye.